Maybe I could do some ASMR videos.
Hi, welcome back to
Bondy?
MB. We decided that it might be a good idea to do a little get to know us video. So we're going to kind of talk about how we met, what our hobbies are, kind of why we got into homesteading, and then we're going to do a little Q&A. So for now, how did we meet?
Over some black coffee.
Coffee. So I used to be a barista at Starbucks, and this hunk of a gentleman kept coming through and ordering a black cold brew, and we would talk back and forth until we ended up going on a date, and then he never left my house and we got married, and that's kind of where we are.
It's the truth, honestly.
There's a ghost in the house.
It probably is.
Yeah, so we had a little coffee shop romance thing going on, and he's most definitely my person. He's funny. He's just the best. Did you just wink at the camera? So arrogant. What are your hobbies, babe?
I like to work.
He doesn't ever stop working, which is a blessing and a curse, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But also same, I don't usually have any downtime.
I'd say my big hobbies are definitely hunting. Really enjoy spending some quality time in the woods. I love traditional archery.
Season. Traditional archery? Go ahead. You don't really like fishing.
I'm not super big on fishing. It's more something to just pass the time in between hunting seasons. But I do enjoy doing woodworking projects, wood engraving projects. Something that's like kind of meticulous and really takes a lot of time and some fine detail to complete.
You just
That's
like to
kinda
work with your hands.
I do. I've really taken up an interest in like building. I want to learn how to do like framing and stuff like that. And I'd really love to build my own garage.
Yes, you would.
You know what? Cut this in. One of my hobbies, listening to Creed and drinking whiskey.
It's crazy. And so to like move from that to kind of our nightly routine every night, we just have YouTube on the TV. It's on right now. And he watches a mixture of hunting videos, but mostly we sit here together, and especially when we were thinking about chickens, we would sit and watch YouTube and watch all these different homesteaders discuss ways that they care for their chickens and just like tips and tricks. And it was really helpful for making us feel a little more confident, because neither one of us have owned chickens before. I don't remember what I was talking about. Yep. Funny story, when we were still dating, this man recanted a whole 30-minute conversation to me because I lost my train of thought. It was pretty impressive. He won't even lie.
Well, I will say this though. Don't ask me to quote movies because I can't do that.
Interesting.
Numbers, conversations, things that are important, but I could watch a movie 6-7 times and there could be a famous line in it and I'm still going to mess it up for sure.
Interesting. I didn't know that about you.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't talk about my hobbies, so I guess I'll do that. I love to read. That's kind of all that I really do outside of work.
I do think
doom scroll.
Yeah, but I also think that you enjoy, and you don't do it as much as you used to. When we first started dating, you used to listen to music a lot in the kitchen, but I don't think you really do that as much.
I do love music a lot, but I really enjoy driving down the road listening to music. It's my favorite time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when there's not a young kid in the back seat making a bunch of noise.
You mentioned earlier having a healthier lifestyle. There's a lot that comes with that, especially with homesteading, growing your own vegetables, chickens. I want to eventually start doing meat chickens. I'd love to have Yeah, I would love to have cows. I would love to have beef. I wouldn't mind having a dairy cow. I mean, there's hundreds of things to do, but in town, like in a small town,
makes it a little more challenging and limited.
Yeah, you have to buy land, but what we have here, we could definitely do like game birds or even like meat rabbits, stuff like that. It's all small. It's all small scale and doesn't take up a lot of space and don't need to grow a lot of vegetables. You definitely have to learn skills like how to can and
yeah, there's a lot that goes along with that, which we hope to bring you along on whatever journey we kind of go down this spring. We have a lot of plans for the spring, but it'll kind of be trial and error, and we'll just bring you along with us and hopefully teach you something, and you can maybe watch us struggle because okay, so we have a bit of a Q&A planned, and I'm just going to use my computer because real life. Who's most likely to name all the chickens something ridiculous?
I don't name the chickens. Well, I didn't even name her. You named her.
Oh, Betty?
Yeah.
I did name Bougie Betty. I was talking about Eggward. Because I named him Eggward, and he turned him into Eggwardo. So, but really and truthfully, I'm the one who's named all the chickens. I can list them for you. Bougie Betty, Henrietta, Princess Leia. I have Feather Feet, which she was something else, but she just grows these weird little feathers out of her feet, so that's what I call her, Feather Feet. We got Tina.
Yeah.
Tina
be hollering.
So every time I go out there, I'm like, Tina, why are you hollering? It just makes me really happy. I don't really know. I haven't really named the other ones.
All the Rhode Island Reds.
Yeah, they're mean. I don't like them.
Yeah, they are kind of.
But the goal was to name Eggward and Bella after Twilight.
I will say this. That is something, even though we're not doing like tip and trick videos, if you're going to get Rhode Island Reds, I would either get all Rhode Island Reds or be selective about the breeds that you mix them with, because
they're mean.
Yeah, they are a little. They're very human friendly, but they're not very other bird friendly. So
yeah, I have an attachment to our chickens, and the Rhode Island Reds are really friendly to me and to our son, but they are bullies to other chickens, so it makes it hard. Which is why we have Bougie Betty, because the Rhode Island Reds were being mean to her. And so now she's on her own. The next question is, who's the better chicken wrangler?
That would also be you.
Not me.
Well, I mean, I'm decent at wrangling them, but for the most part, if you go out there and you sit, they just all come to you.
They do flock. They're like cats, really.
Yeah, well, they're scared of me because I wield the pitchfork and turn over their bedding.
Pitchfork man.
Yeah, I turn over all their bedding and do all that, and I'm the one always out there banging around with hammers and saws and making a lot of noise and driving the lawnmower next to them and
startling them.
Yeah, so they don't like me very much.
But he's very stealthy and fast, so I'm not. I'm very clumsy, but they tend to come to me, and it's a little easier for me to grab them.
My strategy is corner them and grab whatever I can. So,
next question. What's the most unexpected thing about raising chickens? I will start by saying that I didn't think they would be as personable as they are.
Yeah, they do have a very large variety of personality. I will say that.
Yeah, and the way that they like squawk and make noises. Yeah, like Betty's got this like really soft little chirp to her, but then you got Tina who's like wah, wah.
She do be hollering.
And then there's Feather Feet. She does this like
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, but someone has compared them to cats before, where like I'll just like take a bucket out there and sit, and the chickens will just flock onto my lap. And I've had 3 or 4 on me at one time, and I'm like, interesting. One of them in particular will sit on my shoulder and perch, or she's like tried to perch on my head. That's been fun, but I don't know. I think what held me back from wanting them for so long was not realizing how easy they were to care for. Like they're basically self-sufficient.
Up to a point.
Yeah.
The toughest part's that like first 6 weeks. That first 6 to 8 weeks.
Especially if you've never had chicks before. So this was our first time having chicks, like the whole process, the whole 9 yards. This was our first. So I was definitely like a helicopter parent over the chicks because I was just nervous.
Yeah, you're constantly checking them for pasty butt. Their temperature is regulated. That's a big one, especially if you live in a colder environment. But also you don't want them to overheat too if you have them in the middle of summers.
Well, and I was going to say, if you don't know what pasty butt is, it's basically where they poop and it just like gets crusted on their butt. And so it can block their vent from them pooping. And so you have to like soak their butt or like basically soak off the poop. And that was my job. Like a little mom.
Yeah.
Cleaning their little butts.
I think that's where her love for the chicken started.
Yeah, I had to clean poopy butt. It's like having a baby. Who spends more time watching chicken drama unfold? That's a no-brainer question.
Yeah, she does. I mean, she has videos of chickens.
My whole camera feed is basically chickens. I kind of bonded with all the chickens during the summer. What's the weirdest thing you've Googled since starting this homestead? I know what mine is. It's not so much Googled. Maybe I have Googled. Like I've Googled pasty butt. There's just a lot of things I didn't know. But one of the most random facts I found out was that roosters don't have a thing. They ain't got no wiener. Butt to butt.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really Googled that much, I guess. I mean, my stuff was all like how-to videos and what to do videos. And yeah, I think you took the win on that one.
Who's more likely to turn a tiny project into a whole day ordeal?
That's me.
For sure.
That's me. I want it to be perfect, depending on what it is.
Yeah, he's very particular. But on that note, I will say that I think it is safe to say that we're both pretty much perfectionists. But we've learned over the course of time and over the last year that it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. Really more so doing what we can with what we have. And I think like we tend to go overboard sometimes because of course you watch YouTube and you see all these bougie chicken coops and you see people building elaborate things and it's like, oh, I have to have that. But really and truthfully, you just need the basics. You don't have to spend a ton of money trying to figure it out. I mean, most of our chicken coop was made with just like scrap lumber that we were able to get our hands on, right? I mean, you bought some of it, but.
Yep. If I wasn't provided the opportunity that I was to receive that scrap lumber, which was a huge blessing, I would have looked for old fence panels on Facebook Marketplace would have been my next bet. The more simple you keep it, the better, because it makes it easier to add on.
Yeah.
Later.
I would say that. I would agree with that. The next question is, and I feel like this is going to be a no-brainer, but who would survive longer on a real farm? I think that would be you. I just see you out here with a lasso or whatever you want to call it, herding some freaking cows.
That's a ranch. Not a farm.
So what is constituted as a farm then?
I mean, I don't know the exact definition of a farm, but A farm usually produces crops and stuff like that. Most farmers, I would like to believe, have some type of livestock also. But what you just depicted is like some straight up Yellowstone ranch stuff.
Well, you do love Yellowstone, so.
I mean, the ending of Yellowstone wasn't that great, but yeah, it was a good series.
This kind of piggybacks off of an earlier question. What's the funniest chicken name you picked?
Probably Featherfeet, just because of how
unique.
Yeah, it is very unique. It's a very unique.
Oh, Featherfeet, my little Featherfeet. I personally like Tina because the way that I go out there and speak to her, because she is so loud.
Tina reminds me of isn't it like Tina like on Bob's Burgers or something like that? Yeah, every time I hear that, that's what I think about.
I think of Napoleon Dynamite. Tina, you fat lord, come get some dinner.
Yeah, that too.
Tina, why are you hollering? I love, anytime I can pull out my southern accent, I do it. What's been your biggest oops moment so far?
I don't know. I've had a few of them, honestly. Smashed my thumb with a frickin' framing hammer.
Yeah,
that was pretty bad. That was a big oops. Another big oops was I don't know why I did this, but I framed like the coop at the frickin' carport at the front of the house because it was like the most flat and level surface. And all I did was the uprights and the base for the actual coop area where they sleep at night. And then I had to figure out, it's a 4x8 section. I had to figure out how to get that to the backyard. And so I ended up carrying it back there by myself. And it took me about an hour.
He didn't ask me for help.
Well, she wasn't home.
But I told him I would help him. And he did it by himself anyways.
Well, I wanted to get it in the ground, so I wasn't going to wait. So that was a big dumb mistake. So
it'd be like that.
Yeah, it'd be like
that. Last question. What's the most homesteadery thing about each of you? Our hearts are on.
Yeah, I don't really consider anything to be super homesteadery, as you would put it, but I guess just doing chores. Chores is pretty homesteady.
My answer was going to be that I went and bought a pair of overalls. I wanted to, look like a farmer girl or something. And then I never wear them. I literally go out there in sweatpants and a sweatshirt because they jump on me. There's poop all over me by the time I get out of there usually. At the end of our Q&A, hopefully that gave you a little insight into who we are. We tend to be a little bit more on the private side of things, so we're not going to really go too in-depth with our personal lives, but I do find it important to get to know you guys and vice versa. We're here to just kind of share our homesteading journey, whatever tips and tricks that we have, and keep it really simple, keep it basic, keep it affordable, and just relatable and realistic. Those are a lot of hashtags, but I feel like that describes, us and what we're planning to do. Some of the things that you might see from us is tending to our chickens, teaching you about chickens, tackling all kinds of DIY projects. We do live in an older home, so there's just stuff to update and renovate. You'll probably catch us finding creative ways to use things or reuse things. We're definitely not experts by any means, but we do feel like we've gained a lot of knowledge, just hands-on, trying to figure things out on our own. I don't know. Our goal with this channel is just to make it feel a little less daunting, a little bit, help you feel a little bit more confident in creating your own homestead.
I hope you at least get an idea.
That's about it, folks.
I think we need a better ending than that.
So how do you want to end it then?
Some heavy metal.
Some Creed.
Yeah. Yeah. Put some Creed at the end. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching. Until next time.
Bye.
I go to Texas A&M.